She runs like lightning, she looks like a superstar, and she carries herself like someone who has absolutely nothing left to prove, and everything left to show you. Orange hair blazing in the wind, long nails that the entire world said would slow her down. A personality so big it fills every stadium she has ever entered. And legs that move faster than almost any woman in the history of human running. But here's what you need to understand before this story even begins. This is not a story about speed. This is a story about a girl who grew up fighting for everything she had, who lost the person she loved most in the entire world at the worst possible moment, in the most public way imaginable, who fell completely, painfully, in front of the entire world, and who got back up more powerful, more vibrant, more alive than she had ever been before. This is the story of Sha'Carri Richardson, the most electrifying woman in the history of track and field. And I promise you, by the time this video is over, you will never look at a setback the same way again. Sha'Carri Richardson was born on March 25, 2000 in Dallas, Texas. From the very beginning, life was complicated. She grew up in circumstances that would have broken most people before they ever reached the starting line. Stability was not guaranteed. Comfort was not guaranteed. The future was not guaranteed. But there was one constant, one person, her grandmother, the woman who raised her, the woman who believed in her, the woman who became the entire foundation of Sha'Carri Richardson's world. And Sha'Carri found her way to a track, and everything changed. At Carter High School in Dallas, this girl, this teenager from a difficult background, started running, and nobody could catch her. Nobody. Then came Louisiana State University in 2019. Sha'Carri Richardson was 19 years old, a freshman, and she ran the 100 meters in 10.75 seconds, the fastest time ever recorded by a collegiate female sprinter in the entire history of American athletics, as a freshman in her first year. The running world did not just pay attention, the running world completely lost its mind. Here was a girl, barely 19, with the nails and the lashes and the orange hair and the personality the size of a continent, running faster than any college woman in American history. She was not just fast, she was a phenomenon. She was something the world of athletics had never seen before, and she knew it. Right here, before we go any further, if this story is already lighting something up inside you, hit that subscribe button right now. Every single week on this channel, we bring you the most extraordinary stories in all of sport. The athletes who rewrite the rules, the comebacks that make you believe in more, the moments that make you genuinely proud to be alive. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, because you do not want to miss what happens next. Now let's get back to Sha'Carri. By 2021, there was one name in American track and field that every single person knew. The U.S. Olympic Trials, Eugene, Oregon, June 2021. Sha'Carri Richardson walked onto that track, and the crowd went absolutely electric before the gun had even fired. She crossed the 100 meters finish line in 10.86 seconds. Wind assisted, but the performance was breathtaking. She had made the United States Olympic team. And the way she celebrated, arms spread wide, tears streaming down her face, falling to her knees on the track, was the moment that turned Sha'Carri Richardson from a fast runner into a cultural icon. America watched, and America completely fell in love. And then, just days later, the world collapsed. During the trials, Sha'Carri Richardson received the most devastating news a person can receive. Her biological mother had died, suddenly, without warning. And in her grief, in her pain, In a moment of being completely and utterly human, she made a decision she would later publicly acknowledge was a mistake. She used marijuana. She tested positive, and she was suspended from the 100 meters at the Tokyo Olympic Games. The game she had trained her entire life for. Gone. The world erupted. Social media exploded. And in the middle of all of it, this girl, this 21-year-old from Dallas, who had just lost her mother and her Olympic dream in the same week, stood up. She faced the cameras. She took full responsibility. She said, "I made a mistake. I am human. I just ask that you understand." That single sentence, and that single moment of grace and vulnerability and raw human honesty, made more people love Sha'Carri Richardson than any sprint she had ever run. Because in that moment, she was not an athlete. She was all of us. We are halfway through the most extraordinary story in track and field. And I need you to subscribe to this channel right now, because what comes next is the greatest comeback you have ever witnessed. Every single week on this channel, the greatest athlete biographies, the most iconic comeback stories, the world records, the moments in sport that stopped the world completely. Subscribe, bell notification. Do it right now, because you need to be here for every single one. Now let's talk about what happened after Tokyo. After Tokyo, the world wondered if Sha'Carri Richardson would ever be the same again. She had lost her mother. She had lost the Olympics. She had lost, in the most public way imaginable, the moment she had given everything to reach. Most people would have walked away. Most people would have quietly disappeared. But Sha'Carri Richardson is not most people. She came back. Slowly at first, rebuilding, regrounding, rediscovering, not just the athlete, but the person. And then came 2023, the World Athletics Championships in Budapest, Hungary. Sha'Carri Richardson walked into that stadium, and the crowd erupted before she had even reached the blocks, because they knew, everybody already knew. She ran the 100 meters final, 10.65 seconds, world champion. For the first time in her career, Sha'Carri Richardson stood on the highest step of the World Championship podium, gold medal around her neck, American flag in her hands, eyes wet, and the entire stadium, every single person on their feet. But she was not finished. She lined up for the 200 meters, and she did it again. World champion. 2 gold medals, 1 championships. The comeback was not just complete, it was the single greatest redemption story in the history of women's sprinting. The girl they said was done was the best in the entire world. Then came Paris 2024, the Olympic Games she had dreamed of since she was a little girl in Dallas. Sha'Carri Richardson arrived in Paris as world champion, as the most talked about athlete on the planet, and as someone who had unfinished business with the universe. She ran the 100 meters. She reached the final, and Julian Alfred of St. Lucia, in one of the greatest upsets in Olympic sprint history, won gold in a stunning 10.92 seconds. Sha'Carri took silver in 10.95, and while silver was not the gold she came for, she was not done, not even close. Because then came the 4x100 relay, Team USA, Sha'Carri Richardson anchoring, and when that baton hit her hand and she exploded down that final straight and Team USA crossed the line in first place, the girl from Dallas, Texas, who had lost everything, who had been counted out by everyone, who had fallen further and come back harder than almost anyone in the history of her sport, was an Olympic champion. The awards tell part of the story. 2019, fastest collegiate female sprinter in U.S. history, 10.75 seconds. 2021, U.S. Olympic Trials 100 meters champion. 2023, World Athletics Championships double gold, 100 meters and 200 meters. 2023, World Athletics Female Athlete of the Year. 2024, Olympic silver medal in the 100 meters. 2024, Olympic gold medal in the 4x100 relay. But the awards do not tell the whole story. The whole story is a girl from Dallas who grew up fighting for everything, who lost the woman who raised her, who fell publicly, painfully, in front of the entire watching world, and who got back up every single time, more powerful, more vibrant, more electrifying than she had ever been before. Sha'Carri Richardson is 25 years old. She has already changed her sport forever, not just with her speed, but with her style, her authenticity, her courage, and her absolute refusal to be anything other than exactly who she is. Orange hair, long nails, big personality, the fastest legs in the world, and a heart that refuses to stay broken. Drop a comment below. What is your favorite Sha'Carri Richardson moment? Because I genuinely want to know. And whatever you have lost, whatever has knocked you to the floor, whatever has made you wonder if you can ever come back from it, remember this. A girl from Dallas, Texas lost her mother, lost the Olympics, lost everything in the same week, and came back 2 years later as the world champion. Twice. If she can do that, so can you. Now go. And before you leave, if this story moved you, if it gave you something today, hit that like button right now and subscribe to this channel. Every single week, the greatest comebacks, the most extraordinary athlete biographies, the world records, the race breakdowns, and the stories that remind you every single week what human beings are truly capable of. This is the channel for people who believe in more. Subscribe, hit the bell, share this video with someone who needs to hear Sha'Carri's story today, and I will see you next week.